So much for my preparation. I was supposed to make notes and everything. Pekko is here. We're leaving for a race tomorrow. And I went to ride motocross instead. I guess that's therapy too. Can you hear me? Is the audio on? Camera is on. I can see myself. It's a bit of a mess in the office. I forgot to add some lights. I have that lights. Should I add some lights? Ooh, yeah. So professional. Loud and clear. Audio okay. Älä nyt pakkaa. Voitko alkaa pakkaa? Voitko pakkaa? Laitaks tänne Joonefalkin kodin tänne? Joo. Ei se näy. Mun takaa. Ai. Jäät ne tohon ulos ne kamat. Joo. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So as you know, super chats are for the beer fund and the whole fund. There's a hole right there. We need to fix it. So we need funds to fix the hole and funds to get beers for the live show. Today I have this Karhu juicy IPA. I don't like IPAs, but this one is good. Not so fruity and not so much like an IPA. Yeah. Okay. I think today the number is, we have to start quickly. Can we just make the number 69 because we're at 63? I was going to do 100, but I don't think we can do that. Unless you all share the stream somehow on your social media, or get your wives or girlfriends or moms to watch, just so we can get more people. We have a beer fund. Stefan Heyman's $5.99. You can get one beer for next show. Thank you, Stefan. Summer equals beer. No question, though. Someone broke in the engine, according to my engine braking video. You're welcome. 69, that's the number when we start. So we only have maybe 30 seconds for questions, and then we have to start. How to pick up girls at the club? This is a very bad question to ask me because I don't know. Basically, I'm not very good at that. So the only advice I can give is just be yourself. No pretending. Just be yourself. And if you're an asshole, well, I don't know. Still be yourself. I think it's the best. It's the best advice I can give. $68. We got time for one more question. And we have to start. And you know what? I need to make some notes, actually. I'm supposed to be serious. This YouTube Live is supposed to basically solve the world's problems. So everyone who watches this, if I do a good job at explaining this, and then the 69 people watching this, if we extrapolate that to the entire world, and everyone understood this, then we would solve all the world's problems. I mean, I'm in a particularly humble mood today, so I think that's a realistic description of what we're gonna do here. Solve all the world's problems. If only everyone was watching. Beer for Pekko after he won this weekend. Well, in the future, you mean, if he wins. I don't know if he wins. Robert's going too, and I'm racing. He's laughing now. Kids. If not, you can drink it to hide the disappointment. So win-win. Thank you, Bauman. Pekko, sait 10 euroa. Tai no, YouTube ottaa varmaan puolet siitä. Saat 5.
Thank you, Bauman.
Thank you. Pekko says thank you. We aren't making 69, see? People are leaving. I'm tired of this. I'm just going to start making notes now, so I don't make a complete mess of my world-changing theories. Hi, JQ. Nice to see you doing lives again. Let's see how long it lasts. We're going to try and keep going. Thursdays are good. Thursday evenings. We are over 69 people, 70 people, so we can start. Let's see. I think there's a positive comment here. I'm going to have to read this. JQ, you're literally the reason why I can lead our national championship. Watched and studied all your videos with the first generation Invisible Speed book. Very happy to hear that. Good job. Which country is that? Okay, so we need to start. We need to leave at 5 a.m. We still have a lot to do, and hopefully can sleep a bit before then. It's 9 p.m. here now. News. There. Is the audio back? Can you hear me? There was a problem. Let's see. There. Is the audio back? It's back. Let me share some news. There's some news about the online course. Let's do this quickly. There we go. So, as you may know, we have an online course. Invisible Speed has an online course. And there's 2 versions. There's a basic version and a full version. The basic version is being revamped at the moment. There's a bunch of new stuff that's going to be added. Look here, it says, what car and equipment to buy 2022? I'm only 2 years late. Now I'm adding this information. And what tools and accessories do you need? All of this kind of stuff I'm adding. Then also in the videos, I add additional information under the videos. So there's a ton of good, basic setup advice. And then if you have a Mayako, because we are building a Mayako in this video, there's information about that. Then in other videos, for example, let's see, hopefully I did it here. Yes, you can see there's a quick summary. So timestamps don't work in this platform for the online course, but I sort of timestamped this, and you can just search for that place in the video if you want to learn about Al Pacino and how your car is like Al Pacino. And then also there's a bit of a breakdown of what the video is about, so the main points of what's in the video. So I'm improving this basic course because it's going to be free. Hopefully within August, I'll have this done, and then I will launch the basic course for free. The difference between the basic course and the full course is module 10, which is basically everything that's in this book, everything that's in the Invisible Speed book regarding setup. So the first modules in both courses are the same. You know, that introduction to RC, choosing your equipment, preparing your equipment, so building it, and the basic setup, heading to the track for the first time, radio settings, maintenance, setup changes, your first race, getting faster and improving your setup, traveling to races, improving your race program. And then this module 10 with all of these in-depth setup videos. This is what you are paying for then. So the free course doesn't include this module 10, but I want to make it free so that as many people as possible watch videos in one place where you can go from zero to having a really good understanding of your car and driving, racing, building, maintaining, setting your car up. And then if you want to go to the next level, so really learn about kingpin inclination, for example, or whatever you want to learn about, you can pay 50 euros a month. I mean, 50 euros for 3 months access, and you can watch all the videos you want. And we are also then going to have live meetings, I think after the Worlds. So right now, where's my mouse? Right now, there's a bunch of races coming up, and we are preparing for the Worlds, and I will go to the 40 plus euros and race myself. Finally, I get to race. And after the Worlds, then there'll be time to have those live meetings. As for the book, hopefully you know, Invisible Speed 2 has been released earlier this year. There's a bunch of new information in here. Some of the best stuff is this. So every section has not only better illustrations of stuff and pictures, but also a corner image. So we talk about how the change affects the handling of the car, entering a corner, mid-corner, and exiting a corner. And I think this makes a lot more sense, and it's easier to understand. And also the quick summaries have been improved at the end of each chapter. There's also more tables towards the end of the book here. When we talk about different track conditions, there's different tables that you can study to learn to understand the difference between which setting gives more initial grip, which more overall grip, which setting makes the car naturally faster, which makes it naturally easier to drive. Those kind of things. So Invisible Speed is moving forward, and Pekko is making a lot of noise. I hope that doesn't disturb you. Another third thing about Invisible Speed I need to share. Finally, after it's getting to a year, this is incredible. Manufacturing is tough at the moment, let's put it that way. But I have been working hard on trying to get the tools made. So I will show you. I have a picture of what they're going to look like. Invisible Speed tools are basically confirmed going into production. When are they going to be ready? I'm not giving any promises, but basically we have the what is this called? Setup station. I'm going to sell them in pairs. So you just have your tires on one end of the car, then the setup station, you know, the wheel plate and camber angle plate to measure camber. Then there's a plate to measure toe, front toe, rear toe, droop blocks, droop gauge, balancing pins. Yeah, with this, you will be able to fine tune and perfect your setup. When are they ready? I do not know. I just know that they're heading into production now, finally. Page 16 is the best. Page 16. David Baumann, he got a book at the European Championships, and I signed it for him, and I added a note. David, please start on page 16. And there you go. Page 16 is all about driving, the basics of driving. I watched Baumann drive. He drives a Mayako. Obviously, the Mayako is a capable car with a standard stock setup. And I determined he needs to start reading page 16. And apparently, it's the best page. Good job. Mayako. We need to talk a bit about Mayako really quickly. I want to share something with you. I don't think I shared this on a YouTube live before. I think it was a Mayako member meeting. So here we go. We have made some changes. This was always going to, this was always the plan. It's just taken a while to get here. What has changed? Pricing. Now the pricing is such that the annual membership fee is $349, and then if you remember, kits start at $399. If you're not a member, you can get a Mayako buggy for $599. Why these price changes? Well, first of all, if you become a member and you buy an e-buggy and a nitro buggy, which is kind of normal for people who race a lot, it's actually a bit cheaper to become a member and do that than to be a non-member and buy 2 kits. Another thing about this pricing is that there's a problem in the industry today where most people are sponsored. Sponsored is kind of the wrong word to use, but anyone with a pulse can send in a resume to a company and get some kind of discount. There are so many brands out there. You just go down the list of brands, someone's going to give you a discount. So no one pays retail anymore, it seems. Maybe the first time someone buys a car, they buy it retail, then they understand that they can get discounts, and that's what they do. So at Mayako, our goal was always to be able to offer everyone the price that the competitors sell cars at a discount to people. So anyone, you don't need to send out any resumes. You don't need to get some kind of deal. You just get a Mayako at any dealer that sells Mayakos, and the price will be close to what other brands offer as their discounted team price. As for if you become a member and buy a kit, that price is close to what our competitors sell their car with a normal retail price. So normal retail for a competitor is Mayako's membership plus 1 kit. No membership, just getting a Mayako, is about the same as the competitor's discounted team kit price. That's the idea. Why were we able to do this now? We were able to do this because we have released sort of standard versions of the cars. So we have a standard version of the nitro buggy, and the e-buggy is going to be released shortly. You can tell them apart because the aluminium parts are anodized black on the standard version. So the performance is just as good as the member kit. It's just that there are fewer options and it looks a bit different. Then for the member car, something that's unique is that when you buy the kit, you can set the specification yourself. One issue that people run into is when they buy a kit and it doesn't come with the settings they want, they have to spend a lot of money to then get those parts. For example, different C-hubs or piston springs, anti-roll bars, all of this stuff. And with Mayako, you can just select those. So you get the parts in the kit that you actually want to use when you race. And that's something that members can do. And there's a whole lot of other benefits also. Everyone has access to a Mayako Discord channel, but members have a special sort of member section. And right now we're developing a truggy, and also soon there will be some new buggy parts that members will be able to be a part of the development of, and later on they'll be able to buy the prototypes too. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm still confused with these two screens and my mouse. I haven't done this in a while. We're actually over 100 people. That's nice. That's awesome. So, is there a pre-order for the setup station? When I know for sure when it's going to be ready, then I will put it up in the shop and you can place your orders. But I don't want to do that now because I honestly don't know when they'll be done. Let's see if I post on Instagram if we get more people watching. What do you think? Let's see if Instagram makes any difference. Let's make a quick video. What should I say? Hello, Instagram. Do I have any followers here? I haven't been posting in a while. I'm doing a live right now on YouTube, and I don't want to continue unless I get more people watching. I'm very sad. We need 100 people at least. Please join. There's a link somewhere here, hopefully. There we go. Very low energy post. What's happening with Mayako? When they came out, they were winning everything and now nothing. I mean, that's pretty simple. Second year Mayako existed, Mayako hired David Ronnefalk. And the first year he was with the brand, he did really well. He won DNC e-buggy. He won European Championship in Nitro and second place at the Worlds. So, I mean, that's a really good first year. That's hard to beat. Now David Ronnefalk does not run for Mayako anymore. So if you want to win, you need to have a winning driver, right? The winning drivers right now are Kanas and Ongaro, basically. Kanas, Ongaro, Ronnefalk, Coelho. Who else? Those guys, Boots. Those are the guys you need. And in America, you need Mayfield, Fend, Lutz. These kind of guys. Rivkin. It's all about the drivers you have at this point. There are many capable cars. If you have the right driver, you can win. Okay, any questions at this point? I could answer a few questions because I still need to straighten out my story. You see, the main point of this live is actually the therapy session. I have a mosquito that's really annoying me. I need to get rid of it. I had it in my hand and I didn't kill it. Anyway, the point of this live was that my previous live, that therapy session, which is at the end of the lives always, the point was to talk about perception versus reality. And I was giving some examples that have to do with RC racing and also life. And the reason I started talking about this was because Jared Tebow had called me, I think it was the worst person he has ever met. I think that was the quote. The worst person he has ever met. And that, I mean, that didn't really bother me. Like, I don't really care what he thinks about me, but there's like this idea bothered me that's linked to that, and that's perception versus reality. The problem was that in the previous live, as I started talking about this, I kind of got carried away or sidetracked and forgot what my conclusion was. Like, I had an actual point, but then I forgot it. And now we are going to do it again, hopefully better. And we are going to reach a conclusion. But for that, the notes that I was supposed to do all of this week leading up to this live, I did not do. So I need some questions right now. Answer a few questions here. You can ask anything about racing and setup and that. I guess that's the reason you are here watching. Then we are going to go into this therapy session. And the therapy session, it's also going to be relevant to RC. It kind of explains why RCGP failed, for example. It explains why many racers don't reach their full potential. There's a lot that you can learn, actually, if you apply this that I'm going to talk about to your racing. Lutz would be cool in Mayako. Yes, he would, but he is with Kyosho, and there's no plans for him to move over to Mayako. He is already an invisible speed driver. What time does the sun set in Finland now? Well, I don't know. Maybe soon, 10, 11, something like that. Okay, good idea. Bauman. Let Pekko to the microphone and answer questions. You make your notes. Pekko, haluatko sulla vastaa kysymyksiin? Haluatko tulla hetkeksi vastaa kysymyksiin, että mä kirjoitan nämä mun muistiinpanot? No, jotain RCstä. No, niin. Okay. Pekko will come here and answer questions for about 5 minutes, and I'll try and make some notes quickly so I know how to start this discussion. Okay. These are bad. Say yours key. Okay.
Mistä mä näen kysymyksen?
Tästä. Joo, sä voit aloittaa tällä. Savoia was strong at Euros. Why? Pekko will start with this question. 100 people. Pekko, don't lose these. We have a lot of people watching now, so.
I will try.
Okay.
I try my best.
Okay. So, Savoia was strong at the Euros. Why? That's because the car, when I was marshalling, I was watching his car, and the car looked amazing. Like, the car was super fast. For sure, let's say, if Zhao would have run Kayoso still this race, he would have won for sure. That's the answer. He was fast because the car was super good. So, where are we? Okay, next one. I don't know. It's still up, so probably at 11. Oh, Bauman, he already answered that. Yeah, that would be true. Oh, that's nice.
Vastaa sun puolesta.
I think for 10 scale car, I normally like to run with shorter link because I feel like you have more support with that. So I think with Astro or High Grip, the shorter link would be better. With the longer link, the car could squat more. Like when you go out of the corner, push real hard, and then the car just loses the rear. But yeah. Yeah, we did this in Montpellier at the e-buggy Euros, and I think when you have the shocks forward, it gives the car more rotation from the rear, but you need to make the shock package be different from the rear. So it's hard to say, but in my opinion, it gives more rotation from the rear. Like in 10 scale, for example, when we were using back in the days, behind of the shock tower in 2VD, it was more easier to drive, but when you moved it forward, it was more aggressive and you had more steering. Hello, Neo. This is hard. I remember
Yeah.
what it could have been. Probably when we changed the engine for a new one. That was the best. I could I could say that. I don't know. Oh, that's actually a good one. Emos, let's just have it. I think that thicker diffs, they were that was the key point at the end of the race. What is the difference between Astro and clay setup? For Astro, you have naturally more grip, so it's like you have maybe harder spring, the thicker oils in the shocks, and maybe thicker diff. And in clay, it's opposite. So it's hard to say. It's like many things which are different in the setup. Sometimes the things are the same, but it it depends on what the Astro is, because it could be super low grip or high grip. You never know. Have you and JQ found a place to stay in Spain?
No.
For sure not. I think he will arrange the place one day before we leave, like he did for the Euros. So probably, I don't know. Yes, Neo, I need to win. Pekko, how often does your mom make shocks for the RC Racing TV hosts? She makes every time when there is a new guy who likes me. So that's the answer for you. How many throttle servos have you destroyed this season? Actually, none. Yeah, I have broke none. Last year, probably two. Who is the worst driver you have ever stand next to on the driver's stand, and why? Do you mean like he does something stupid at the driver's stand, or just annoying? Because I don't know. There is couple guys who are like standing super forwards, so you cannot see behind of them. And then there is this one guy in Finland, which name is Karri Salmela, and he when he's steering, he like how do you say it?
Let's go of the wheel.
Yeah, let's go off the wheel when he's steering. Like he's full lock, and then he needs to go forwards and straighten up. He lets go of the wheel, and it makes this sound. So that's quite annoying when you hear that. Do you like American racing, and do you set up your car different for American races? The thing is that I have done only 2 races in America, so but I like the races a lot. They are more different than we have here, so I really like them. But I don't know about the car setup. It's quite similar, but quite different. I don't know. Hard to say. I don't remember the setup from AMS last year, so don't know. Don't forget to bring my socks to the world salty. But you don't need the socks because there is quite hot where you live. So I don't know. Maybe I will. We'll see. David Bauman. You prefer hard brake setup or smooth one? More front or rear bias? I mean, if there is a high grip, I would like more rear bias, because then you can go harder with the brake when you go into the corner, so you can push into the corner and the car doesn't push because of the brake. That's like we have in Schumacher 4VD on a high grip, like carpet tracks. We have this like one-way slipper for the front brakes that it doesn't brake fully in the front, so you can go harder into the corner and you don't the car doesn't push. And for me, I think I like to have the brake that you have feeling with the brake. So if you like pull a little brake, you will have little brake. Then you go like full brake, and then you have full brake. So it's like I need the touch with the brake, because that's coming from a touring car, and in touring car, like normally you cannot go like even fully with the brake. So you need to have, like in touring car, you need to have the brake there, but you don't use it all. Only in situations that like extreme situations when someone is front of you and you need to brake like super hard. Catch and release. I call it when drivers let go of the wheel. That's actually quite good. Catch and release. That's what he does. And it's quite crazy. He also drives touring car. So there was a chicane, he was like "Trr, trr," and that was crazy. I don't understand how the car didn't do anything stupid. What do you need to win big race? I don't know. Good day. Everything needs to be perfect. Probably like that. More practice. We need better tracks here in Finland to practice for that. What is the best 8 scale buggy tires for clay track? I think now at the Euros, the best tire was Sismic. Like, what was it called? Mikä se rengas oli? Muistatko?
Mystic.
Mystic. They were running Mystic. Also, Clay Sahara was good, and the Matrix one, the Black Hole clay tire. So it's between those tires. It depends, like which is the fastest. But I don't know. I really always like to drive with the Sahara. What do you like more? 10 scale pink pinion carpet? What is that? Pink pinion carpet? Off-road touring or 8 scale main in nitro off-road RC car life decision, choose wisely. Um, I think I really like to do the 8 scale during the summers, and uh, now lately on road during the winter. I think I don't have like the preferred what I like the most, but those are the things I like to drive during the summer and the winter. Um, I think for high grip track, you can try thinner roll bars. That could help, because when you have super thick roll bar, when you have high grip track, the car makes a sudden flip, like traction roll suddenly. So when you're driving with the softer roll bar, the car is more smoother and doesn't flip like suddenly. And I don't know, maybe thicker diffs also. Have you driven other 8-scale platforms? What do you like outside of Mayako? I have used Kyosho, uh, Associated, JQ Racing, Mayako. And I think, okay, my opinion is that I started 8-scale Nitro Off-Road. Also I have driven with Mugen. But I started 8-scale Nitro Off-Road with the Kyosho MP9 TKI3. And in my opinion, that's still the best 8-scale car ever. That's like the Ferrari of the RC.
Mikä auto?
Kyosho.
MP9?
Ja MP9 TKI3.
Mistä mulla on tuolla? Siis Mayako ei ole vielä parempi kuin se.
Ei.
Aista paskapanko.
Now he's complaining that I said that Kyosho is better, but I remember when I was driving with that car and it was amazing. It was my first year with actually at the first Finnish Nationals ever I did with the Nitro Off-Road, I was second. So that was quite good with that car. How often do you replace clutch shoes? I think this summer I was doing my third race with the same clutch shoes, and then I thought that I will change them for the final. Then I checked the clutch shoes, and they were like almost done, completely done. So probably I should do maybe for every race to have new clutch shoes, but for sure you can do 2 races easily with the clutch shoes. Evening, how is it going? It's going quite well, but the thing is that we need to pack for the race for the weekend, so we will be here quite late, and we have to wake up super early. I don't like early mornings at all. Yeah, no problem. Ooh, we have 104 viewers.
Okay.
Did you hear?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm almost done.
He's almost done,
I'm
but
gonna post.
probably when I leave, everyone will leave also.
Yeah, I hope not. But I'm gonna post this Instagram story right now.
Already when you started talking, 3 people left.
Oh my god. Some good questions at Pekko now. 3 more minutes.
Yeah, we need more questions. I'll probably answer it all. I don't know. Maybe I missed one. Sorry for that. What do you think to S-Works? They seem to be up and coming. I don't know. I have never probably driven S-Works. So I don't know. The car looks quite good with the boots and the canas, and they can really push the car. So I think they are doing good things with the car. That's nice. When you are looking for more steering, what do you look to change on your car? I think if I'm running more KPI, then I will go less to have more steering. And if I'm doing like really thick diffs, then I will go softer with the front. And then what else? Go one hole down from the shocks. Yeah, that's probably, and maybe thinner front roll bar also. That could help. What diff oils for indoor track high bite? For what car? For 8-scale, for Mayako, we would use probably 50-50-20 with 10 scale, I would try maybe 20 in 2VD, also 20 with 4VD, you know, something like that. Have you ever driven a Durango? No, I have never, probably never even tried it, even though quite many people run with Durango in Finland, and that was probably for some time that was the Ferrari of 10 scale 4VD. In your opinion, for intermediate driver, which is the most stable, reasonably well-performing engine?
Mitä?
Saanko sanoa asiat suoraan?
Ai mikä moottori on paras?
Niin.
Joo, sano vaan.
I think, in my opinion, OS. Probably the Adam Draco Ongaro, but OS for sure, in my opinion. Why there are small or smaller CD blocks on Mayako? No, we haven't tried the springs yet, but I really like the wider because they give more support and better feeling with the rear, and you don't have to do like extreme things with the links and stuff like that. You can just have the support from the blocks. So, in my opinion, the wider blocks are better. What do you think of the new X3 Owner car? I haven't seen it, so no opinion. Are the JQ progressive springs the same as Mayako? No idea. Will 20k front diff on a high grip track make steering lazy? I'm having problem with the car turning wide sometimes.
Okei. Mä valmis.
Yeah. If you go thinner, you will have more steering into the corner, but less out of the corner. When you go with the thicker diff, when you go harder with the harder out of the corner, you will push out of the corner. See you soon, Pekko. I hope you will enjoy the Baltic Cup. For sure, I will enjoy because the track is amazing.
Niin.
Yeah, probably I can try
Kyllä.
Durango.
Okay, I made my notes.
Why do you think pros don't put on races? Mitä tää meinaa?
En mä tiedä.
Meinaaks tää, että niinku ei pidä kisoja?
Niin. Ne järjestä. En mä tiedä, mitä se tarkoittaa.
I don't know. They're afraid. No, I don't know. That would be nice to have more races. You done good. You can do that more often and replace JQ on lives. You could do a set of beer talk together.
Mikä?
That's true. Could be good. This should be a regular statement. Call it Pekko time.
Pekko time.
Yeah, that could be nice. Have you punched JQ yet? Actually, no.
Not today.
No, never.
Podcast
Never.
käteen voi tehdä.
Never. I haven't punched him. And I won't. Until I get super angry. But until this day, I have managed my anger towards him. It's always good when you are driving, you are in the driver's stand, so you're above him and you cannot go and punch him. So already when you are walking down, you are thinking that, oh, maybe that's not a good idea. So you don't do that. Ootko nyt valmis?
Kyllä mä oon.
Okay, he's ready. I need to go back. See you guys.
Niin.
Thank you.
Vie nää kamat tonne.
Mulla on homma kesken.
Homma on kesken. Okay. Thank you.
Se pisteitä ei hae.
On jääkaapissa. Oho, mä unohdin tämän. Okay, here we go. As I was saying, I'm feeling rather humble today. I will just solve all the world's problems now in tonight's therapy session. Thank you, Bauman, for the great idea of allowing Pekko to answer some questions. So we get some RC setup questions done. And now I'm going to answer the really tough questions about why Thibaut thinks that I'm the world's worst person and why RCGP failed and all kinds of other things. I'm going to get into it. So last time I forgot the conclusion. I was supposed to make notes. I forgot. I made them right now. So here we go. Why am I doing this? Let's give some background first. Stop sharing that. Audio still okay? Everyone still here? Is this still live? Are we still getting comments? I don't want to do this for nothing. Let's see if someone comments something so I know this is still working. Oh, actually, I had it here in the other browser. Let's see if someone comments. Okay, it's okay. Why am I doing this? Well, I think that as human beings, we have a tendency to do everything for selfish reasons. Let's be honest. Even when we do good stuff, if you dig deep enough, you will find a selfish reason. My selfish reason was that my life was getting a bit too hard. I would say about, what is it now? Like 6-7 years ago already, I was struggling, but not sort of externally. It was internal. It was in my own mind. We live a lot in our minds, and my mind wasn't very kind. Let's put it that way. And I was struggling to enjoy my life. All my romantic relationships always were not very good. And I always left. If my girlfriend was unstable, which happened a bunch, I would be the one to be the peacemaker, but also part of the problem and join in the problems. Then when I was lucky enough to have a stable girlfriend, I couldn't handle it, and I became the problem. In work, many of the projects that I did and put a lot of effort into, like RCGP, for example, failed. There were a bunch of others also. So there was a lot of effort going into relationships and projects and work and everything, and it was failing. I didn't feel like I was moving forward in life. And I couldn't really figure out why. And I was getting increasingly frustrated and angry. So after one of my breakups, my girlfriend didn't accept my explanation of I just don't feel good, and it's just not like we just have to break up. And she pushed me on it, and she wanted to ei se siitä. You remember, Liam? Ei se siitä. Ei se siitä is a great Finnish saying that means it's okay, it's not going to work anyway, basically. So she pushed me on it, and the result of that was that I, as an adult, learned what anxiety is. I know it sounds very stupid, but I actually didn't know. So we identified this feeling, this actual physical feeling that you have when your body is sort of in fight or flight or freeze mode, and that like it happens for an extended period of time. I don't think any human being can function or sort of live a productive, happy life if that keeps happening to you, and if that happens for extended periods of time. So that was the starting point. That's when I understood, okay, there's more to this life, than cars or motocross. Like, let's figure out myself. Let's get to know what I am feeling and why. So when I would feel anxiety, and that was pretty easy to identify. But what became harder was to understand why. And that's when I started to, well, long story short, I was diagnosed with ADHD, inattentive ADHD, which means that you can sit still, but internally you're not very still. And also ASD, or autism spectrum disorder, high traits of that, not an official diagnosis, just high traits of it, and formerly known as Asperger. Now, that was really good because now I had a bit of a manual to follow. So I did a bunch of research, learned a lot, and I started to understand. I had actually already understood a lot of things on my own and figured out how to live my life so I feel better. But this helped a lot, and I took a big leap forward. So one thing that happens is that my brain can get stuck. When Thibaut said that I am the world's worst person or the worst person he's ever met, I didn't care about that. But this idea got stuck in my head. And it's something that has bothered me before also. And it has to do with the failure of RCGP. It has to do also with my relationship issues. It has to do with a lot in life. And it's the way I think versus the way many other people think. It has to do with reality versus perception. So let's define the terms first. Yeah, let's do this properly. You know, I'm gonna do this one time and one time only, but I'm gonna do it right. And I need some paper. Preparation is key. Where's the printer? Get me some paper. Okay, where were we? While you're at it, can you say if you have gotten an apology from Scotty yet? No apology. If you know, you know. We're not going to get into that now. Okay, let's see. I promise this time I have a point and a conclusion. This is going to make sense. Okay. We're going to start with reality. Okay. Reality, I think that you can say that I hope I get these words the right way. Reality is objective. So anyone can look at it and it's the same reality. Everyone has the same reality. It's facts. Facts, you know, you can't have your own facts. You can have your own opinions, but facts, you can't have your own facts. It's, you know, reality is scientific method, you know, research, objective, facts, scientific method, research. What does this lead to? My pen is drying up. We need another pen. That's what we need right now. It leads to, guess what? What does all of this lead to? So reality, it's objective. You have facts, you have research, you have scientific method. Anyone in the comments? What do you get? What is the result after that? You get an informed opinion. You get an informed opinion, okay? This is kind of how I think. I care about reality, the facts. I do research. I have an informed opinion. Aren't I great, right? No, I'm not. Fucking struggle. Why do I struggle? Because most people, they're a bit different. Most people, it's about perception. Perception is based on a lot of things that are subjective. Which means that if you have many people and you have the same thing happen, different people will experience it differently. It's subjective. It's based on emotions. How did whatever happened make you feel? It's based on feelings, right? How do you feel? Did I hit you in the feels? It's based on bias, lived experience. Can't spell. There we go. Perception. It's subjective. It's emotions, feelings, bias, lived experience. What you get an opinion. And it's yours. It's an opinion, but it's yours. How do we know if this is an opinion other people can share? It's like it's based on so many things that are unique to you. So we have these two like competing ways of thinking, in a sense. Do you see what I mean? We have reality, which is based on facts, research, scientific method. You have an informed opinion about something. Then you have perception, which is sort of how do you feel? What emotions do you have? Your bias, your lived experience, and you have an opinion, but it's kind of yours. So then you end up in situations when you have this, right? So I would say that I heavily, throughout my life, have thought about things like this. What is real? What is reality? What are the facts? Boom, that's right. We can now, just with this knowledge, we can already understand why RCGP failed, okay? Because RCGP was a great project, a world championship series for our racing, and it was modeled after many other sports. There was there were press days, press conferences, media was planned. Everyone would get exposure. The racing format was exciting for the people watching. Like the whole concept was good and it worked and we proved it. Reality, it was good. But what matters is perception. How did people feel about it? What emotions did they feel? They did not base their decisions on reality. They based it on their perception of reality. The facts didn't matter, okay? I knew this, but it's hard to create something new where you have to disrupt the status quo and then have a person who is very sort of what is the word? The opposite of me, basically. So not disruptive, the opposite of disruptive, agreeable. I'm disagreeable. Someone who is agreeable and well liked and well spoken, and someone who is able to get the right emotions from people, get them to feel the right things, get them to have a positive perception of the idea and the racing series, and then their opinion will be positive. The people person, you need both, right? I can give you a completely different example that has nothing to do with RC, which will drive this point home even better, I think. But the problem with RCGP wasn't that the idea wasn't good or that there was some problem with the concept. The problem was that most people, like I said, they do not start with reality. They do not start with data and facts. They start with emotions and feelings and their bias and their perception. They build their opinion like that. That is why RCGP failed. The sort of soft skills, the people skills, that side of the equation That is why RCGP failed. So, which of these ways are better? Is there a better way? Like, what's the right way? I said I was going to solve the problems, all the problems in the world, basically tonight, right? So we are well on our way. Bear with me. I promise I will have a decent conclusion. I'll give you a very, very different example. Let's see if you follow this. So let's say I have a girlfriend, and let's say we have sex. No, we don't have sex. We make love, right? And then immediately after that, I give her 100 euros. And so sex, and then I give money, right? Why do I give money? It doesn't matter. It's just two separate things, but they happen in that order, that particular order, right after each other. Then in another example, we have sex because we are in a relationship, and I give her 100 euros completely separately for whatever reason. It doesn't matter why. Maybe I owed her money, or I'm lending her money, or giving her money, or it's a present, or whatever reason. So the exact same things, sex, giving money, okay? But in one example, it happens. We have sex immediately after I give her money. And in the other, there are two completely separate things that happen. Yes? If we are just looking at reality, what happened? What were the actions? What really happened? We have an informed opinion of everything. There's actually no difference between those two examples. We are in a relationship. We had sex. I gave her money. It's, it's the same. But when you add emotions and feelings, the perception into this, you can have a very big difference between those two examples, because maybe my girlfriend would feel like, hey, wait a minute, you only gave me this money because we had sex. Is that why? Like, now those two things are linked, even though they are completely separate things. They are, in my mind, I'm thinking like, no, they have nothing to do with each other. They are two separate things. But if they happen like that, in that order, the other person, perception can be very different. Do you understand? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So if you only strictly use one way of reaching an opinion, you have blind spots. This can be a relationship ender for, certain things if you only use this way of looking at situations. Many blind spots if you only focus on reality, but also many blind spots if you only think about your own opinion and your perception of things. Right? So have you noticed these two ways of reaching an opinion? They are not enough. We need something else. We need something else, but let's not go there yet. I am going to give yet another example. And this example, my friends, this brings us back to the days of me on Facebook. Do you remember? Back in the day, I got infamous because of my arguments online. And they tended to circle around very similar topics. They were about sort of extreme nationalism, racism, bigotry, oppression, these kind of things, right? And of course, I was on the which side was I on? You can guess which side I was on. I was anti-racist. I was anti-extreme nationalism. I was for peace and unity. I was on that side. But those arguments, they got heated. It was a fun time, but it wasn't very productive. I will give you an example from back in those days. So one of my friends' dad, actually, he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. he claims to be not racist at all. He's not racist. He's Finnish, you know. He has black friends. He has Muslim friends. He has this and that. He's not racist. He doesn't care about that stuff, right? If you're a good guy, then you're a good guy, and that's it. Sounds good, right? Except he very often said extremely racist things. And one time it was so perfect that I had to take this opportunity. So he said that about a guy, like, that guy looks like a thief. He looks like a crook. And what followed was fun. Where's my phone? I need my phone for this. And it was fun because he just did not understand my point for quite a while. But I managed to get through to him. So he said, that guy looks like a thief. That guy looks like a crook. I wouldn't trust that guy. Okay. And I said, why? Why is that? Well, it ended up being because it was a Somali man. I don't know if it's Somali or Somalian. I actually don't know. But so in the early 90s, Finland had a lot of refugees from Somalia because they had a civil war, I believe it was. And then, you know, in the years following, of course, when you have a bunch of refugees come in, there's always going to be some issues. And it was also in the media a lot. And as it so happens, people from Somalia tend to have a distinctive look to them, that you can look at them and you can tell that they are from Somalia. So my friend's dad, who is not racist at all, made the comment that that guy looks like a thief. And in the end, it was because he looked like he's from Somalia. Okay. The definition of racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So his opinion was that that guy looks like a thief. It was based on the guy's skin color and ethnicity. And all of his opinions that follow were the normal stuff that, you know, like they are the problem. They cause all of this and that and blah, blah, blah. So you know that. And I was thinking, like, how is it possible? So this guy actually generally is decent and good and not racist, but then he has that definition of racism as his opinion, and then followed by all of this drivel. How is that possible? Well, the problem now is that if we look at reality, he could have an informed opinion where he has this opinion because of the things that the actual facts of immigration into Finland and the crimes that were happening and what he saw in the media and everything that he could research, he could see, like, hey, there is actually a problem here. There's no denying there was a problem, right? So he could be based in reality and have that opinion. Then his perception, definitely, this is how he, you know, most people think this way. So his emotions, feelings, like his bias, his lived experience, he can have lived experience where he can see, like, you know what? These Somali men, they really are a problem. I've had so many problems. Like, I work here and this every day we have this, and, you know, so combining the reality that he's reading in the newspaper and he's seeing on TV and the perception that he has from his own lived experience, they are the same. He's like, JQ, you're stupid. I know I'm right about this. So clearly we don't have enough. We don't have enough here. We need something else. We need more to be able to make sense of this, right? We need a third thing. We need a third thing. Okay? I figured it out. I figured it out for you. I'm going to tell you what the third thing is we need. Let's check the comments. What's the third thing we need? Maybe someone in the comments can help. So we have reality and perception. My friend's dad, he's not racist at all, but he sees a man and he says, you know what? That guy, he's black. He looks Somali. I don't trust that guy. He looks like a thief. I base my opinion on reality and perception. And you know what? I don't trust any of those people. How do we solve this? What is needed? There is a third thing. When I understood this, when I put this third thing in here, everything became clear. My anxiety went away. I knew I can have this live. I can reach a conclusion. I can make sense of this. What is it? Come on, anyone. What's the third thing we're looking for? An excuse? Oh my God. No. People let their feelings obscure the reality of what's going on. Yes, they do. This has been a frustration throughout my life because I'm like, hey, let's talk about the facts, the reality, let's have an informed opinion. And then Pekko goes, but I feel this way. Right? What? No, we already have it. Okay, no one's going to get this. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to call this third thing values. You know what? We need some values here. We need to add some values to the equation. Values. What are values made out of? I would say they are morals. They like what's right and wrong. What is non-negotiable? So we need values, morals. What's right and wrong? What's non-negotiable? What does this lead to? It leads to consistency. It leads to character and integrity. Big words, big important words, I think. Consistency, character, integrity. We need these. Okay, let's try and figure this out now. Now we have three things. We have a whole bunch of papers here flying around. How are we going to explain this to my friend's dad? This is bothering me. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I need to explain this to him. So the way we solve a problem like this is we have some things that we believe, and we believe those things so much that we don't stray away from them. Like, for example, no, murder is wrong. We don't kill people, right? So that's like a non-negotiable value we have, right? We don't kill people, but the world is complicated. There could be a situation where you have to save your children, and the only way is going to be one where probably the person that is a threat will die. Oh my God, like what do you do? Nothing, because, oh, you can't kill, or you can't risk killing. Well, maybe then in these kind of extreme situations, then you do the least harm possible to, stay safe yourself or your children or whatever. So self-defense. Okay. So you have, it's not, there's nothing that's super clear, like 100%. Never kill anyone. No. You can have a value of murder is wrong. And then in extreme situations, you always start there. Murder is wrong, but now we do the least possible harm. If someone dies, okay, well, it couldn't be helped. It was self-defense. I'm sure you understand this, right? So other things could be like all human beings have human dignity and value. So we should treat all people with respect until they do something to lose that respect from us. we start there. We start with values, right? We start with this. Then we look at reality and we realize that, you know what, all these immigrants that are coming in, most of them are actually good people, because most people in the whole world are good people. Most Muslims are good people. Most black people are good people. Most white people are good people. That's how it works. Most Asians are good people. Most men are good people. Anyone, any group of people, most of them are good. Why? Because human beings are social creatures. We like the same things. We want a happy, successful life. We want to start a family. We want a safe environment for our family. We want a long, happy life for everyone around us and the people we love. That's what we want. That's what most people want. So when you know that, when you have values, when you think about things deeper, then the reality that you had before, which was just the news or social media, you add to that. You realize like that's not the whole picture. You are seeing just a sliver of it. So then you adjust your perception a bit, your bias, your lived experience. Maybe your lived experience isn't everything. Do you have a immigrant friend? Do you have a Muslim friend? Do you know their family? Maybe if you did, maybe your lived experience would be different. Maybe you only ever had bad interactions with Muslims, for example. But if you had Muslim friends, maybe you would realize that you know all of these Muslims and they're good people and they enjoy the same things as you, and they race motocross and RC cars and whatever it is, and it's the same as you, right? So when you add these values to the equation, you have reality, perception, values. You have an informed opinion. You also have your emotions and your biases and lived experience, but you force the values in there. You force those values in there, and you question yourself, and you question like, hey, can I have a very one-sided view of this? Is my perception wrong? Can I add to it? Because my morals, my sense of right and wrong, my values, they go against the result that I have right now. Am I wrong? Question yourself, right? That's how my friend's dad should think, but he doesn't. He just goes to his perception and that's it. Most people are lazy. They don't add those three together. That's what you have to do to solve problems. So far too many people, they base their opinions on their own perception. So their emotions, their feelings, their lived experience, that's their opinion. That's it. Done. They have to add values. They have to add reality. They have to do research. They have to understand whatever it is that they have an opinion about from many different angles. That is the only way to truly have a valuable opinion. Values first, then reality, then your perception last. Add your feelings last. But you have to have all three. That's what I really believe. And I'll give more examples of this. Maybe we can also have some comments and talk about this. But this is something that basically drove me off social media. I left Facebook. I left Instagram because it bothered me so much. People who I know, there are people who are just, I know they're just dumb, or they truly are, bigots, and it doesn't, who cares? But then there are sort of intelligent, successful people who I would say, like, I respect, and they post such shit on social media and they hold such bad opinions, and it got to a point where it became a problem for me to be there. Like, it would frustrate me too much, so I left. And it's taken all this time for me to sort of figure it out in a way where I'm okay with it. I understand why they are like that. It's like those people, for example, my friend's dad, who I know, he's a good guy, but he just doesn't bother thinking further than I feel this, so that's my opinion. But if he really thought more, he would, I think, largely agree with what I'm saying here, right? That's the same thing for a lot of people. So social media is making this issue worse, I think, because on social media you see the extremes. The extremes gets clicks, it gets promoted. That's what you see. So this sort of when you see both extremes, it just drives division. People have more and stronger emotions on one side, and yeah, how are you going to reach understanding or agreement when you're just being driven further apart because of social media algorithms? And then another thing, also largely, I don't actually understand why. This doesn't make any sense to me, but there's this sort of very strong movement of anti-intellectualism, sort of science denial, anti-vax, all this stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. Everyone suddenly became a doctor and a vaccine expert when COVID happened. You know, it makes no sense at all. It's like someone who just discovered RC starts explaining to me how role centers work. I just look at them like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I dedicated my life to this shit. I know this. Okay, you are wrong. And then everyone believing that guy and not me, and saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, that's happening in all these things where they are so complex, so complicated. Reality is so complicated that people go for the easy answer. And it's just like all those things together, I just couldn't anymore. So I left. Now I understand why. Like the combination of having sort of high traits of ASD and ADHD, it's not very good when the things that are important for you are like justice and fairness, understanding things, being right, or seeing that things go in the right way. Yeah, and when there's a lot of unfairness and injustice, and you can see a lot of people being wrong, and being sort of driving your success in a sense, it's a very frustrating place to be. Social media does make things worse. Targeted items. Yes. So tomorrow, the No Name RC podcast is going to release a show that was focused on the Euros. You should go and watch that, because all of these things that I just spoke about, there's a really good example of this towards the end when we talk about the main. So first, Lefty and Max talk about the main. They give their opinions, and then it was my turn, and I came and I brought receipts. I had facts. I did the reality part. You know, go check it out. I had my opinions, but they were informed. They were informed opinions because I had done my research. I backed everything up. And they were like, hey, JQ, you know what? Nailed it. This was really good. That's what you kind of need to do if you have a strong opinion. You need to do the research. You need to know that you're right. Then after that, we had another debate or rant or discussion with Lefty, and it was about Wicked Weekend. And the pass that Tata made on Tala Fenster in the Truggy B main, I think, for the bump spot. And I entered that debate without the facts. I entered it with my perception. What do I feel about it? What am I? Tata, he's a hack. He used to be this arrogant kid swearing and taking everyone out and just a nuisance, right? That guy's an idiot. That's what I felt. For sure, he took that guy out. I saw a video quickly. Yeah, he just ran into him. He took him out. So that was my opinion. I went into it. Lefty, I knew Lefty had that opposite opinion. So as it happens, that rant and debate, that went differently than the Euros one. Watch it tomorrow, really, and think about this that we just discussed. So first, I went in. I combined all these things. I got the information. I thought about it. I thought about my own biases. I have relationships with these people, but I can't let that cloud my judgment of what actually was going on. I have this opinion, but do the numbers back it up? You know, I looked at it from all different perspectives, and I came to a conclusion. And that was my opinion. Then for Wicked Weekend, I just went with my feelings, my perception, the way most people do. And look how it ended up. That's tomorrow. Someone said, so Tebow. Okay, so let's do this. Hopefully what I explained made sense. I mean, there's still a bunch of people here, so I think it did. Let's talk about some other examples, because before, so in my Facebook days, a lot of my rants and arguments were to do with America, and Americans are, you know, we know that they're very patriotic and they get their panties in a bunch immediately if you have any kind of criticism. So let's talk about my home country instead, England. I'm English, actually. I was born in Finland, but they don't allow me to be Finnish. I've actually applied, got denied. I don't know what the hell happened there, but I applied again. Hopefully they don't deny again. Maybe they will. So that's a whole other story. So I am actually English, so I'm allowed to talk about the things that are happening there, Tommy Robinson and race riots and all that stuff. Let's solve that problem real quick too. But Tebow first. So what was the question? Oh, why he thinks I'm the world's worst person? Well, because where's the right paper for that? You already know. You should know by now. I mean, we figured this out. We figured this out now. Reality doesn't matter. Values don't matter. Subjective perception. What does he feel? Emotions. I said something rude. Things didn't go his way. He has that opinion. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So he thinks I'm the worst person in the world. I know I'm not. Reality would say otherwise. So it is not an important opinion, right? Nio Chieffo from Italy. Here we live in one of the most racist states. The society itself, it's made that way. We don't have black people, for example, working in the government, in state place, police or state services. People are born this way, yes. Well, they aren't born this way. They are raised that way. Perception, true. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. This also explains like my time in RC since the beginning. So many people told me, "Oh, you should not. You shouldn't bring up politics, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't talk about these things because we lose customers, or it's not good." But the thing is that if you have these and if you are consistent, then you have to, because if you stay silent when things are going wrong, that is also a problem. It's like you aren't an accomplice, but you are, what's the word? You're just standing by and allowing it to happen, you know? So why would you allow the other side to openly share their opinions? And, you know, they have businesses, that's fine. But then if you are actually for, let's say, peace and equality, and you bring that up, that's a bad thing. No, I've always been anti-racism, for example. And when my friend's dad says something that is the definition of racism, I'm going to speak up, you know. It doesn't matter that I have a company or I have a brand or I do this or that. No, because I'm right. You know? So I think that's more important. I always had these. And I think this sort of, when you have high autistic traits, I believe that you have very rigid thinking in a sense. And if you have that rigid thinking set on the right settings, it's a good thing. You don't put up with any nonsense, bullshit. David Bauman says I should look at you and just let my perception flow. What do I see? And give you a beer. He has a beer. He has a beer. Oh, it's empty. He needs another one. Oh, God. Did I make any sense? Okay, now let's solve all the world's problems, yeah? We won't use America because most viewers here are probably American, and we want you guys to understand the point. So we'll talk about England instead. So can we do that? So I don't know if you've heard, but there was this thing that happened in the UK. 3 little girls were stabbed to death. Very sad story. A bunch of other people were injured. And what happened after that? There was very little information about who did it, because there's a law in England that if they aren't guilty, so what are they? If the suspect is a minor, you can't let out those details. So there was little information. And what happened? Social media took over, you know, and so on social media, oh, it was an immigrant, oh, it was a Muslim, and all hell broke loose. And there was a bunch of protests and people attacking Muslim-looking people, brown people, non-English-looking people, trying to set fire to an asylum center or something, something like that. Protests, throwing bricks at mosques, you know, very sensible behavior, I would say. All because actually it turns out it was someone who was born in the UK. So he was actually English. He wasn't an immigrant. His parents were, though. And he's not a Muslim. I think he was Christian. So they got the info wrong, but that doesn't matter, because why? Why did it not matter? We can figure this out now. We know how to figure all these things out now. We've got papers for everything. It didn't matter because reality doesn't matter. Facts, research, scientific method, informed opinion, reality, it doesn't matter. Why? Because people just go with emotions and feelings and perception and lived experience and all that stuff. You know, they forget about reality. So Muslim bad, basically, and that's it. That's all you need. If they had this, everyone has this. Everyone has these values, but they limit their circle of caring and having these values to themselves, or to themselves and their family, or to themselves and their family and friends, or maybe to themselves, their family and friends, and also to people that look like them or share their nationality or something like this. But then even if it's share their nationality, oh, you look different, so you're not really from here, right? You're not really Finnish. You're too dark. Finnish people are white, blonde, and Christian. You're a black Muslim. What the fuck? You aren't Finnish. You know. It is ridiculous. I tell you. People haven't figured out how this works. They are non-negotiable. It's for everyone. So, Tommy Robinson, if you know who Tommy Robinson is, he's this guy who, if you go and watch videos on YouTube and read the comments, he's like the second coming of Jesus Christ. That's what so many comments are saying. Like, he's just speaking the truth. He dares to speak the truth. The guy's an idiot. He's a moron. He does not understand how these things work. It's very simple. He basically says that Islam is the problem, Muslims are the problem, immigrants are the problem, these groups are the problem. He is against rape and pedophilia and murder and all of these things. He's against those things. Yeah, most people are. Most fucking living, breathing, thinking people are against those things. Also, Muslims. Most Muslims are also against those things. So that kind of argument falls apart immediately, because if that's your point, if you are against murder and rape and pedophilia and all those things, if you are against those things, then you should sort of work together with all people who are against those things, not just the people who are in your family, friends, look like you and share the same nationality and are against those things. It doesn't make any sense. That's not like I think that's not actually what someone like Tommy Robinson cares about. What he actually cares about is people who look different, have a different religion, coming to the country he lives in. That's what he's actually against, but he just claims that it's about these other things. Very frustrating, very annoying. Instead of actually solving a problem, he creates more, because he creates division. He makes enemies of the majority of Muslims or black people or immigrants who are good people and who agree with the things he says, like, oh, we need the government to give more support to these poor areas, and we need the government to care about this and that, and we need to crack down on crime, and we need to all be against all these horrible things. Yeah, all of those people, the majority of those immigrants agree with you, but now you made them the enemy because you are saying that all immigrants are like that. You are not saying it, but that the result of your words and actions cause people to have the perception that they are all like that. Just like my friend's dad, who saw a Somali man and said, that guy is a thief. I don't trust that guy. He had that perception. Why did he have that perception? Because of people like Tommy Robinson. That's why. So what's the real problem then? In England, for example, let's keep talking about England, because we still have over 100 people watching here. So there are bound to be a lot of Americans. So we're not going to talk about America now. We're talking about England. I'm English. I have an English passport. I'm allowed to talk about this. The problems that are being blamed on immigrants and Muslims now, and people are rioting in the streets, and Tommy Robinson is making tons of money. It's not because of immigration or because of Muslims. It's not. It just isn't. I think you could say that the problems are rooted more in poverty and in inequality. The rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer. There are so many people of all races, all skin colors, all religions in England who are struggling to live a successful life. to be able to put food on the table, to have rewarding jobs, to have enough free time to raise a family and go on holiday and all these things. They are struggling. People are struggling to make enough money to survive. And then when you are in that situation, you look for answers. And when the people in power and the people with influence, when they point at someone and say, that's the problem, that group is the problem, the immigrants are the problem, the Muslims are the problem, the brown people, they are the problem, it's easy to understand that, oh yeah, I see, they come in and I struggle, they are the problem, and you turn against them. It's easy. It's like you don't need many neurons to like make those connections, but that is not the reality. Those immigrants are struggling too, and very often a lot more than the people who actually live in that country and speak the language and know the culture and all of that stuff, right? These people like Tommy Robinson are saying, oh, these immigrants are coming in and they're living in hotels and the government is giving them everything. No, their fucking life sucks. I wouldn't want to be a fucking immigrant or refugee. I wouldn't want to have to leave Finland because of some Russia invading and go somewhere and living in a different country, different culture, different language, not have a job, hard to find a job, struggle. I wouldn't want that. And then the local people are shitting on me because they think I'm the problem. They're blaming me. Like, Jesus Christ. That makes no sense. The real problem is that if we look at the UK, it's a rich country, right? It's a wealthy country. It's a rich country. How can there be millions of people struggling? It's because the people in power, the government, the corruption and the greed, basically. The government doesn't allocate resources in ways that help the less fortunate, the average person. They help major corporations. They help wealthy people. Wealthy corporations and people do not pay their fair share in taxes. You know, it's like if you just look at something very simple and very small, people who you already know in business or something like that, and you know, like, okay, the business guy, he wants to make as much money as possible. He doesn't want to pay people any more than he has to. He will dodge taxes a bit. He will do this and that. Like, it's no big deal, right? But then you just scale it up to a global level, to massive corporations and governments. It's the same thing. We are all people, human beings. They are human beings just the same. You just add a lot of zeros to it. Yeah, the same kind of corruption and helping a brother out. We're mates. We're gonna help each other out. And you're gonna move your money over there and not pay taxes there and all of that stuff, right? That is the real problem. It's not some fucking family or bunch of people showing up who have nothing, who immigrate to your country. That's not the problem. That is not causing the problems. But the real problems and the real solutions are complicated and difficult. And that's why it's so much easier just to blame someone who looks different. Companies do not want to pay workers enough, but big companies are making a lot of money. We have like the richest people in the world. They're always changing and new records are being set, right? How can they be that rich? How can they have so much money? How can these corporations earn so much? How can their profits be so big, right? Well, one reason is because they fucking don't pay people enough. They get paid, but not the normal workers. If normal workers are the majority of people in companies, they do not get enough money. They are not paid enough. Then they struggle. You know, that's, just look at that. Why are people protesting that? They overcharge. So not only are people not paid enough, then people pay a lot for stuff. A phone, this fucking thing. How much does this cost? Paljon puhelin maksaa nykyään? Okay, maybe 1,300 euros or something. That could be a 1 month salary in Finland, I guess. The lowest salary is about that. Eikö se ole joku siivooja? 1,500. Okay, about that. Like the lowest salary in Finland, phone costs the same. But for many, even European countries, there are even lower minimum salaries than that. A phone, this could cost paljon halvin tämmöinen hyvä puhelin. Vittu 200. Mikä se +1? Tai no siitä on tullut isoja. There are some, I bet you there are sort of good phones, same kind of capabilities, a few hundred. It's branding, marketing. Stuff costs a lot. We are being overcharged and underpaid. That is the real problem here. Governments being ineffective in the way that they spend money. And it ends up increasing inequality, and inequality breeds contempt and jealousy and fights. And you know that. You know how human beings are, right? If your neighbor is doing well in Finland, you get jealous of him. Neighbor's an asshole because he has more money. He's doing better. So imagine in a society, you have sort of groups of people who are getting richer and you're struggling more and more. Inequality rises, problems appear. Hi, JQ. I had the pleasure of meeting you and talking to you at the Masters, but I think you have a good personality with a good character. And well, that's fucking unusual that someone would say that, but thank you. But a lot of people can't handle criticism anymore. I agree with that. The main problem is the different religions defines their values. Values are also the problem in this world, also in a sense. So this whole thing is still not solved. Very good point. I will actually go on a tangent here. Values. What are values? We have different values. You know, people, cultures, they differ. I would say that, let's take Finland as an example. Let's say we have a whole bunch of people come into Finland from a country where 9-year-old girls, 9 to 12-year-old girls are sold into marriage, and they still do female genital mutilation, and what else can we think of? Like, it's just their values, and they believe this, and this is their culture, right? Okay, well, the world used to be very backwards, and horrible things used to happen pretty much everywhere. And slowly but surely, you know, we have evolved and we have outgrown certain practices. So if a bunch of people come to Finland and they have values that are not compatible with our way of life and our society, then I do not think that that should be tolerated, allowed. We have laws against this. Like, I don't see this as some kind of incredible problem. Like, we just do not go backwards, you know. We have our values, and we stick to them. And when something that doesn't fit that comes in, we're like, hey, we're like 300 years ahead of that already, so you need to stop that shit. That's what I think about that. Also, another interesting thing, sometimes, and sometimes, very often, people take advantage of lowering their standards and values when they can. This is especially true for corporations. Because, why is that? When you are the CEO of a corporation, you can make decisions that are pretty horrible for a lot of people, but you yourself are in a suit in an air-conditioned office, when you do that, you do not see or have to do the things that you are causing. Okay, so there's this big distance, a gap between where you are and what the decisions you are making are causing, right? But the same thing is true when a person is actually in that position. And I've witnessed this. I have been in a situation where someone from a European country has moved to an African country, and I observed his behavior in said African country, and I just imagine, like, if he was back in Europe, could he get away with treating people like this? And I thought, no. And well, you know me, was I just going to be quiet? No, I fucking spoke up, and I'm happy I did. I said, look, when you are in Europe, you have certain standards, you have certain values, right? So now, because you are in a place that does not have the same values, it doesn't mean that you can lower yours. You maintain the same standard in this place, even though you could lower them, right? We had that discussion, we had that rant. I remember. It was good. I lost that friend. But anyway, I was fucking right. And I think he knew it too. There's so many comments, long ones too. Let's pick something. We are brainwashed. We say we want to make the world better, but yet here we are supporting modern day slavery by buying the gadgets we love. Yes, it's very hard to exist in this world and not be a hypocrite. We all put fuel and diesel in our cars. We all buy all these things, and we know for us to have them, a lot of people had to suffer. That's the world we live in. We just have to accept that. But we don't have to stay silent. We don't need to be sort of the biggest part of the problem that we can. We can do better. I feel like there was something else I was supposed to add here. I just kind of touched on it because of that comment. Yeah, this was another thing that really annoys me. Holy crap, JQ, you're holding an ASD rant in the order of one I could hold. In the order of one I could hold. That's good. That's good. That order makes sense to you. What was that comment? We're brainwashed. We say we want to make the world better. Yet here we are supporting modern day slavery by buying the gadgets we love. Yeah, we're kind of forced to. Yeah, that was it. So we're kind of the lucky ones. Like, I was born in Finland. Finland is one of the richest countries in the world, highest standard of living. I can race RC cars. I can do all these things. I can get an education for free, healthcare free. It's free because it's free at point of access. We all pay taxes, right? I would prefer that my country's government supports healthcare and education instead of invading foreign countries or stockpiling weapons and stuff, waging war. I don't know. That's just me. I like our system here. But we are the lucky ones because we have all these opportunities, but a lot of the world doesn't. You could sort of very roughly say like the global north and the global south. Sorry, Australia, New Zealand. But anyway, global north, like Europe, North America, China, Russia, also greatly, like not completely, but still. I think a lot of people don't realize, especially people like Tommy Robinson, they don't understand some, like a very basic thing. Okay. We think about England again, Great Britain, and the empire it used to be, and how that has shaped the world we live in today. The global north requires a global south to be poor and oppressed and struggling so that we can have cheap gadgets, we can have cheap materials and stuff that we need, and we can get stuff made cheap, and then we can enjoy all that stuff. So in a sense, like the system we have, if we look on a global scale, is a bit of a problem. I don't have a solution for that. I said I was going to solve all the world's problems, but that's one I can't solve, because if we would somehow solve that, I think life in Finland would get worse, at least for a moment, right? Maybe it would start getting better in a lot of other countries, but I don't see how the way we are living right now, with the excess that we have and the options we have for everything, I don't see how we could have that if the world was truly a better place, you know? That solution I don't have. When are the worlds taking place? 8th of September to something, I think. 8th of September to 14th of September, I believe. 1 month from now, basically. Yes. What else? Bring it back to RC. RCGP we already covered. If we want to improve our industry, this, like, we need to understand this, what I just explained in this rant. But I don't think that's ever going to really happen. In industries where there's more money involved, they develop and they can have nicer things because people and companies come in. Why? Because greed motivates them. Hey, we can make money doing this, so we are going to do this. And then they do the right thing. With us in RC, it would be like, hey, we all know this is the right thing to do, right? Yes. We all have to sort of collectively pay into this. We're all going to have a better industry. And that doesn't happen because the people who are doing well now, they're like, well, I don't want to risk anything. And the rest just, they don't believe in the value. They're struggling. They're like, oh my God, if we do this, then I'm helping my competition. I'm not going to do this if it helps my competition. So everyone's kind of doing their own thing and ignoring the collective good. And that's why we are stuck in this shitty industry. And actually, I forgot one big news item. That's why I am stepping away from the RC industry, partly. I'm going into motocross. I forgot that. See, that's why you need notes. Invisible Speed is going to enter the motocross industry. I'm going to start with a book. Yes, motocross. It's going to be actually 3 books. It's going to be one for riding and racing and sort of riding technique, and then one for bike setup, and then one for training and all of that stuff, and career management and that. And well, I don't know all that shit, but the one skill I do have is I can learn stuff, I can research, I can gather a lot of information from a lot of knowledgeable people. I can break it down, I can simplify it, I can put it in a form that people can read, learn, and understand. That's what I'm going to do. So I forgot to add that at the beginning. But there's still over 100 people here, so hey. The NNRC podcast, you are still live. Yes. And I did mention our two rants or debates. And I said that people should go watch. Because in the first one about the Euros, I applied my 3 words. And then in the second one, I just went with my perception, like most people do. I went with my feels, with my emotions, and I encourage people to go watch and see how it went, see what happened. Who does not live with good values will pay for that for their entire life in a way. You can have a Ferrari in the garage, it doesn't matter. Yeah, kind of that. That was kind of, I'll end on this. I'll end on something personal. Let's do that. That was one of my motivations for going on this journey of discovery, because I felt like, what the fuck? Like, I actually sort of understand this. I have many of the answers. I have reality figured out, and I'm failing, you know? So what am I doing wrong? And it was, all of that perception. The perception stuff. I had my values, I had reality, but I was missing this. I was missing perception. I was missing understanding the other person, how I am affecting the other person, and what they are feeling and thinking, and what they need, and that kind of stuff, right? That's why I have put a lot of effort and thought into this. It was a good debate, says NNRC podcast. And now is the point where I forgot the conclusion to this ending. I had an idea, something personal I said, and then I forgot. It would have been a good ending, Pekko. And then we have to throw everything in the van and leave. What was it? Both of them were good, yes. What the hell was it? Will the motocross content include unlocking your hips, like Ryan Hughes says? Oh, for sure. That is the way. You have to unlock your hips. So the way I'm going to do this is, it's still kind of in the works, but I need to work with really knowledgeable and well-known people in the industry. That is the goal. I've been, going to races and meeting people for many years already. So I have a bunch of contacts, and I need to find the right people, and that's how it's going to be done. Because I'm a nobody, I don't know shit, I can't ride to save my life. But I love it. That's my true passion, not RC. So I decided I'm going to apply my skills from invisible speed to motocross. Yeah. Anything else? Are we done? Mä sanoin, että me ollaan kotona 11:30, niin ei oltu. Mutta onko kaikki valmista suunnilleen? Heitetään vaan autoon.
No ei nyt silleen.
Eipä
löytänyt niitä renkaita missään.
Here we see, the only way you can get rich in this world is not by work, but how you can screw someone legally over. Well, that's one way, but you don't have to do it that way. You can do it other ways too. The right way. If I ever do get rich, I'm gonna get rich the right way. You think I can get rich, Pekko? He's laughing. He said no. I don't know. Motocross is a much bigger industry. If I have the remotely the similar kind of success in motocross with the book, then it's going to be good. I just don't know if the people in motocross, if they buy books and read books, it's a different kind of people. We'll see. We'll find out. Can only try. I'm not switching fully, but I'm entering motocross with invisible speed, and we'll see how it goes. But I will stay in RC too. Also. Yes. How much for the goalie mask? The goalie mask is not for sale. It was my mask when I was playing ice hockey.
Joo, mä oon näin.
It's cool. My dad painted it actually. Joseph, 31. The blue monster. Yeah. Okay. You are rich, JQ. Come on. Yes, everything is relative. I am rich. If you compare to 90% of the world or something, I don't know. That is true, but I have to pay the mortgage every month and bills. We all struggle on our own level, I guess. Not all, many of us. But it is true. Pekko, I'm already rich. Yeah.
Who's this then?
Some guy here on YouTube, John C. Mac. It's true. I rode motocross, just having a YouTube live here, and Pekko's preparing for a race that we're going to tomorrow. So yeah, it's true. Amazing. How is Team Mayako this season? I really like the design approaches. I think the worlds are going to be good. Robert and Pekko are going to be very fast, and I will be racing. They will be very fast, and I will be racing. I'm not old enough. They changed the age rule. Fuck. It was 35. I turned 35. I raced it once. Then they changed it to 40. Now I'm 41. I could have raced it because it's every 2 years. The world. And they changed it to 45. Yes, it's done.
Yeah.
So I bet when I'm 45, they're going to change it to 50. Bastards. I've made too much fun of IFMAR. The International Federation of Men Arranging Retreats, IFMAR. It's old men who just want to go on holiday, and they decide to host the worlds in a place where they can go on holiday. That's my theory. They didn't like that theory. That's a good sign. They're scared of you or pissed at you. You know, one way that I would stick around in RC is I would apply or somehow like start a campaign to become IFMA president. Wouldn't that be good? Or EFRA. Imagine if I was in charge of the industry. Can you imagine? Like I would, if I was in charge of the industry, I would take all of this that I've learned now. I would take my values and reality. This I know. This is my strong suit. But now I've learned about this, the soft things, the emotions and feelings and perception and all that stuff, and how everyone's perception is different, right? I've learned about this stuff. I'll take this, turn this industry around. You have to decide if you are retired or not. I'm retired from racing RC and caring about my results. JQ getting discriminated. Yes, by IFMAR. I'm going to sue them for some reason. Robert, I'm waiting for you in Estonia already. Come on, you're late. Are you at the airport? Well, we're supposed to pick you up, Robert. Hopefully not. God damn. I think we sent someone else. We're arriving tomorrow.
You're not late.
We are not late, exactly.
They are starting the
By the way, Robert, one slight thing I forgot to mention. Pekko and I, we are leaving directly after the race, and I saw you're flying on Monday. So, well, we have 3 days to figure out how you're going to get to the airport and all that. Okay, yeah. Marcos. Maybe he can figure things out with you. We've only been going for 2.5 hours. What the hell? Maybe we pack. We can stay live and pack.
Hmm?
It's going well. Oh. UCB. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Robert Vastas. Marcus will bring me to the airport. He's a good guy, not like you two. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's see. Emotions and feelings caused a perception which was negative. Robert has an opinion that Pekko and I are not good guys. Is that reality? Are we not good guys? No, it's, if we look at that. Yes, exactly.
I don't know about Joseph, but I'm a good guy. That's 100.
Okay, Pekko is a good guy. He organized this. I had nothing to do with this race. I said, look, if you want to go to this race, you figure it out. And that's it. And so Pekko then organized very nicely. He's like, by the way, who's picking up Robert at the airport? Right? I'm like, how the fuck do I know? I don't know. He's flying in. I didn't even know that. I knew nothing. Then he says, like, actually, Robert is flying in on Thursday. We are arriving Friday morning. Then, okay, well, how are you going to do that?
You know what? I was just planning my own race.
Yeah, see? I said, like, you have to plan it. What he did was only planning for himself.
You didn't say to plan with Robert.
That is obvious. So would you not plan for me, for example? You didn't plan for me either, just yourself. See, this is how Pekko is.
Why should I plan with you?
Yeah, why should I plan for you?
Yeah, because I'm planning for us.
Pekko is in charge of organizing the race. He organizes everything just for himself. Yeah, it's good. But anyway.
Because you will be there. So.
Aye. But everything is good.
Everything is good. Everything is figured out. So.
Hope all is well and hope to see you around. You coming to AMS? Actually, we missed the entry. The entry was full. But maybe we should see if there's a way to get in. We could go. That's that. Robert, do you need your Euros car or something or engine from it? It's right here. Should I bring it? No plan man is talking. Yes. No plan. No plan is the best plan.
Yeah, that's true.
It worked out for the Euros.
That's what I learned from Joseph.
I booked our Euros hotel at 1:30 a.m. the morning of leaving to the race, and it was perfect. 8 minutes from the track with a nice pool, and a good price. Just one transponder. Batle tarvii ponderi.
Again?
How do you experience ego death without the use of exterior substitutes such as substances? No. Ego death. Okay, let's Google this. I don't. What is happening? Mitä?
Vittu radiolevy.
Mun autoa.
Niin.
Mihin autoa?
No siis Nitra-auto.
Mitkä servot
Sitten
noin?
sä valitat, että mä oon vittu keijä.
Mitkä servot nämä?
No ne, mitkä mä otin tästä toisesta autosta. Kun mä sanoin, että mä otan ne.
Mistä toisesta autosta?
Tuosta autosta nää.
Ai sä otit jo. Okay. Ego death. The disappearance of an individual's sense of self, or the removal of one's perception of oneself as an entity separate from one's social or physical environment. You know what? I'm pretty sure this requires the use of substances. I don't think you can do that otherwise. Can anyone tell me how I make my Sky RC charger know what country it's in? Because it's always saying it's Finnish. You know, at €1 or many euros, when Carlos was announcing, he always said, all cars are Finnish. And I was trying to explain to him, like, they are not all Finnish. Like, there are Spanish guys, Portuguese, English. Like, you cannot say that. It's not, all cars are not Finnish. Yeah, I feel your pain, X-Tech 101. How do you reach enlightenment? Okay. I will tell you how, okay? The way that you reach enlightenment is, it requires suffering. I'm pretty sure of this, actually. So, okay, maybe this can be the end of this live. How do you reach enlightenment? I'm on my way. See, I learned these things about values and perception and reality, and you have to combine them, and that's how you have a good opinion, right? I learned them basically because I want to get laid. Oh. It's always about that, isn't it? Right? No, you can say, like, the problem is I can't have a good relationship with a woman because I'm that way, you know. To save my life always goes bad. Why? Because, as it turns out, when it comes to human interaction, I'm a bit, dare I say, retarded. So I have had to put a lot of effort into this and become enlightened. It's like a side effect, like trying to figure out how to have a successful relationship. Ended up in me discovering the path towards enlightenment and understanding how this world works. But yeah, you have to suffer first. So I did suffer a lot of bad experiences in relationships and in life. Emotional damage. What's that mean? You know the one I mean? A lot of emotional. Here we go. Here we go. We found it. Can I share this? Share this with you. Tiedätkö tämän? I tiedän. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna share this. You to reach enlightenment, this has to happen. Okay, and on a share audio tab. Share audio. Share a tab or a screen instead. What? Okay. I think I managed. The question was, how do you reach enlightenment? And the answer is that you have to suffer a lot of
emotional damage. Emotional damage.
That's what you have to, Smackdown. We don't want to watch anything else here, like ads. I can't remove it now. There we go. My computer is so slow. What is happening? Emotional damage. That's what you need to suffer. And then after you have suffered emotional damage, if you apply yourself and put in the work to get to know yourself and to learn to understand how you're supposed to interact in the world, you will become enlightened. But to get the motivation to do this, you have to suffer emotional damage. I think it's key. It really is key. If your life is too good, you will not achieve enlightenment because you are too happy and satisfied. What is God? What is it? What is the is? Truth is, we'll never know. And my God, that is one nasty pill to swallow. God is an invention by people. God is the explanation for things that have no explanation, or we don't know the explanation for it. God is out of date. What's the right term? Like, I don't think we need God anymore. We don't need God anymore. In Finland, we don't need God anymore, I think. God was a useful concept in the past to explain things that were unexplainable to people and to get people to work together to build a productive and functioning society. God was a way to control people in that sense. That was God. God is a human invention, creation. God didn't create man, man created God. That's what I believe. Why do I believe that? How do I believe that? Reality. That's what God is. How else can you explain that if you are born if you're born in India, in a area where most people are Hindus, you're gonna grow up and realize you're a Hindu. That's amazing, isn't it? Because if you're born in Finland and you're born into a Christian family, you're gonna grow up and realize, oh, I'm a Christian. If you're born in Morocco, a Muslim family, you're gonna grow up and you're gonna be a Muslim. Like, how does that work? All these different gods and religions, and everyone believes they have the right one, but it's basically largely tied to where you're born and into what family. Mystery. Must have the ability to be wrong and know what you must be right about. Yeah, it's hard to know when you're wrong, when you really think that you're right. But if you apply those 3 words that I talked about, you will. And actually watch tomorrow's Non-Name RC podcast and the final rant, where I enter with my perception, what most people do, what Tommy Robinson does, what my... now I have a phone call right now. This is a bit of a problem. You know, I'm actually on a YouTube live right now. You are live to a bunch of people, so can't talk right now. Sorry. Okay. There we go. What was that? Yeah. You know what you must be right about. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Have you ever considered the fact that you could be God? No, it's not possible, because God is a concept created by human beings when they didn't understand. Like, there used to be so many gods. There was thunder and lightning, and that was a god. Thor, right? Thor did that. Then we figured out how thunder and lightning works, and it's like, Thor, get out of here. We don't need you anymore. We can explain this. Then there was what other gods have we sort of kicked out once we understood things?
Actually, in Finland, I'm a god. Pekko is a god of beer.
Pekko, the name,
That's a real thing.
the Pekko,
That's not even
Pekko's name, Pekko, it means the god of beer, or it's the name of god of beer, or it means
It means the god
It-
of beer.
Pekko means the god of beer. Can you believe that? What a coincidence. God does not mean a religion. It is the explanation to why you exist at this very given time, as well as reality itself. No, God is a creation by human beings, and it was very useful back in the day because it was able to sort of unite people into the same values, and then society could be built and people could be controlled. I don't know what just happened. I think it's a sign, something that like the stream is too long. I don't know. Rogue racing. Wish more people thought like you. Actually, I wish the same thing. Because the world would be a better place, wouldn't it? It would be very frustrating, though. I piss a lot of people off. But hey, that's what I'm working on. Wasn't that some conclusion I was supposed to have? Yeah, trying to figure out how to have actually a good relationship. Yeah, that was the motivation for all of this. How to get some punani, that like consistently. That was the motivation for this. I had enough emotional damage, and I started putting in the work, and I figured out this stuff. And T-Bar said I was the worst person he had ever met, and that set me down on this road of trying to explain this. God of streams. Stream died. Is the stream back now? I've ever met. Yes, it's back. I don't know what happened, but it's back. If you come to AMS, I've got a YZ125. You can come ride at Dodge City MX, which is nearby. Thank you very much. But I don't think I will be able to ride any motocross while over there. What's next? How was that? Was that a decent rant? Whose thinking are you thinking? Parents, friends, coworkers, that's the beginning. This is true. When we do not think for ourselves, our opinions are probably someone else's. So our perception, we kind of skip some steps and we just take the opinion of someone else. In the UK, a lot of people, they just listen to Tommy Robbins and their opinions are his. Fascinating. A discussion about God with you and Tebow. Sorry, could not help myself. Well, actually, I think that wouldn't be a very productive one, but a discussion about God with me and Lutz, that would be a good one, I think. That could be a good one. And we would both. Because Lutz and I, we both have values. I think we are both sort of grounded somewhat in the understanding of reality and perception. And we could actually have a good discussion about that. I really do think so. Mikä?
Tarvitaan ponderi jostain.
Kyllä mulla on jossain autossa.
Se väkäri. Tästä autosta ponderin.
Mä oon ostanut niitä pondereita. Sellaisia mustia. No missä se toinen on?
Onko se tuossa turistissa?
Ei, siinä on semmoinen lyhyt piuhainen. ehkä, en mä tiedä, mutta jossain on, mä tiedän. Mä oon ihan varma. Why are there still people? It's fascinating. Okay. I've attempted many conclusions and ends, but I never can get to the end. We have to find a way to end this. We've solved so many problems already. The riots in the UK, if people just applied this way of thinking and understood what the real problem was, they wouldn't need to protest immigrants and Muslims. We decided not to talk about Americans because we want the point to get across. We don't want patriotism and whatever else to blind people too much. Yeah. It seems this is going long because you want Pekko packing everything. Exactly. This is my plan. Pekko has to pack. I don't want to pack. He is organizing this trip. When he's done packing, we go. My perception, very good. Very good, Neo.
Fucking amazing. I will pack this and go home.
Whoa!
Touring car.
Et sä voi ottaa. Mun pitää vähän tutkia. Ja miksi nämä kamat on vielä tälleen? Pakkaa.
Nyt homo. Sulla on se vittu monttis siellä saatana autossa.
Ei kun laukkuihin. Kyllä nyt autoa saada. Okay, I think we have to go. Pekko is getting a bit aggressive. He's getting violent. He's getting like those protesters in England.
Me that I need to pack, and the car is full of his motorcar shit.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. It was God that kept you safe when was in that van in China when you drove you into a middle of nowhere. Okay, yeah. That was a story when I was in China, in Shanghai, I think, and I took a taxi to the airport, but it wasn't a taxi. They drove me somewhere else, like taxi to the airport. Taxi from the airport to the airport hotel, but they drove past the hotel, and I was like, oh shit, this might have been a bad mistake. I'm going to lose some organs. And then they took me to some back alley, and I was like, is there a weapon in this car? Do I have something I can use? I can outrun these guys. But then we turned up at some hotel. God had nothing to do with that. Any plans on traveling to New Zealand one day? I would like to go, but it's so far. So I don't know. Maybe if we can move New Zealand a bit closer, then I'll go. Oot kyllä hyvä. Ootko pakannut jo? Mä aloin pakkaa nää mun kamat. Someone think of a way to end this now. We need a conclusion. And yet another conclusion. We've solved a lot of problems. We've understood why we started this journey. We are learning how to think now, how to reach well-rounded, well-informed opinions, how to not just say that we are not racist and then actually have opinions which are the exact definition of racism, like my friend's dad, but actually sort of not be racist. We've discussed that.
Ponneri on nyt täällä.
Okei.
Mitä se lainaa? Ja se palauttaa tämän meille.
Millä mä ajan?
No siinä on ponneri siinä. Se
Okei.
autossa.
Okay. I can't think of a way to end this. Can't think of a conclusion. No one. Is Lefty still here? Can he think of one? No? Nothing? Nothing? Will you go to China again? I might be going. Well, there's actually a race in December there. I don't know if I'm going, but I will for sure go to China at some point. Don't think I've ever watched a longer YouTube live. Thanks. I've never had a longer YouTube live. I blame Pekko because he's so slow at packing. Hey, how are those lights still going? Well, kind of dead now. Ali Kawaja. Is that right? Ali Kawaja. JQ, how are you, brother? We love you. Thank you for upping the game for RC. Thank you. Well, I failed at upping the game for RC, but we have a good online course and book with invisible speed. That's good. And almost a conclusion here, so we can go, so we can stop. Pekko, do you have ideas?
Just say bye. And then this
No, there was so much content here. We talked about so many things about Tommy Robinson and race riots and Tebow and my girlfriends and relationships, and we need a good conclusion here. Immigrants and Muslims, and covered everything. My friend's dad, who is not racist, and we covered so much ground here. Please, could you tell us what new prototype parts were being tested on the MP10? I can. They had some KPI C-hubs and knuckles. I believe 7 degrees. Yes. What else? I don't know what else they have. Maybe something on the rear end they're doing. You'll have to wait and see. Smooths out initial steering, makes it easier to drive. Maybe I wrote some good note here in my phone. Let's see. We talked about RCGP, why it failed. Gave some examples of how those systems don't work. Talked about how I was socially retarded.
That's true.
That's true. Talked about values. What else? Oh, there's nothing in those notes. I think I covered it all. There's a stream to end all streams. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. I think I've said it all. I can't think of a single nugget of information that would be helpful. Oh. Now I got it. I got it. I looked up and God gave me the answer. We are going to end on this note. This is really good, actually. This is where you should start. On your journey to enlightenment. Where was that comment? There was a comment. Yeah, here we go. How do you reach enlightenment? I said that you have to first struggle through a whole bunch of emotional damage. This is true. Then, when you are at the lowest point, when you have suffered this emotional damage, at that point, you need to gather what's left of your brain cells and neurons, and you need to consider this question. This is the question you need to figure out. How do we do this? Is it in focus? Yes. Have you figured out what you want yet? Very important question. Most people don't even take the time to sit down and think about this. Most people like Pekko, he just scrolls on TikTok and posts on, mikä se toinen on? Se vitun vielä tyhmempi kuin TikTok. Snapchat. Snapchat and TikTok. Snapchat and TikTok on the phone. That's what Pekko does. Yes, you do. All these people on Snapchat and TikTok, and they don't know. They have not figured out what they want. So start there. After suffering incredible, immense amounts of emotional damage, and you're at the lowest of the low, think about this. What do you actually want? What do you want? Then, when you know what you want, then you set about getting it. That's how it works. For me, I knew what I wanted, but god damn, I just didn't know how to get there. And that involved a whole lot of figuring out diagnoses and all kinds of bullshit. But hey, I'm making it. I'm making it there because I actually saw that. Have you figured out what you want yet? And I thought, no, I haven't. And I had some beers and I figured it out. And yeah, that's how it started. So please do that. Figure out what you want and then go about getting it. There we go. Nice conclusion to this 3-hour live. Super mini e-truggy. I'm out. Hey, don't we have also an outro for this thing? Yeah, we do. Amazing.